Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my humble obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Before reciting Srimad Bhagvatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Guruve Gaurachandraye Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Granth Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 6. Prahlad Maharaj instructs his demoniac schoolmates. One nice verse before we start reading Bhagavatam. Veda Puranam. I'll read the English translation only. The Vedas instruct like a master. Veda Puranam Kavayam cha Prabhur Mitram Priyevacha Bodhayanti iti hi Prabhus Trivrit Bhagavatam Punaha. So the Vedas instruct like a master, the Puranas instruct like a friend, and the poetic works instruct like a lover. But the Srimad Bhagavatam does all three. That means Srimad Bhagavatam instructs us like a friend, like a master, and like a lover. And therefore, we read yesterday, so true friend, true companion, true guru, true wealth, true savior, true happiness, and true everything. So let's see what our friend, our master, our best well-wisher wants to instruct us today. Text 15. Vitteshu nitya bhinivishta cheta vidvamscha dosham paravitta hartuhu pratyeha vathapi ajitendriyastad ashanta kamo harate kutumbi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. If a person too attached to the duties of family maintenance is unable to control his senses, the core of his heart is immersed in how to accumulate money. Although he knows that one who takes the wealth of others will be punished by the law of the government, and by the laws of Yamaraj after death, he continues cheating others to acquire money. Purport: especially in these days, people do not believe in a next life or in the court of Yamaraj and the various punishments of the sinful. But at least one should know that one who cheats others to acquire money will be punished by the laws of the government. Nonetheless, people do not care about the laws of this life or those governing the next. Despite whatever knowledge one has, one cannot stop his sinful activities if he is unable to control his senses. Thank you so much, dear Vaishnava. This is really very nice verse. All these words are the words of Prahlad Maharaj, who is a pure self-realized soul. And he is just a 5-year-old boy, but he knows everything. That how people who are so attached, typical Grihamedi mentality, the only goal is money and honey, wealth and sense enjoyment. Because they can't control their sense enjoyment, therefore whatever they earn is always less. There are people who earn millions of dollars, but still they are like, when Anand Vrindavan Prabhu says, Than Than Gopal, zero savings. Because their expenditure is so high, their lifestyle is so high, and their demands of the senses are so high that they use everything. And that's in America, that culture. Indians still have that culture of living below their means. As it is said in India, don't cross your feet above your bed sheet or your room. But in America, the culture of credit card, the culture of living beyond one's means, and then one has to struggle hard, and then one has to worry about accumulating money, and then one cheats others by hook or crook, money, and then one thinks, okay, I can do anything I want. They don't believe in the laws of the universal government. They don't believe in the afterlife. Yavat jivet sukham jivet, rinam kritva ghritam pivit. Drink ghee, rinam kritva. Take loan, take credit, do anything you want, but have a very luxurious lifestyle. Drinking ghee means even if you can't afford that, drive in limousines, drive in expensive cars, wear expensive watches. Credit card companies are there. That's why they're there. That's why half of the people, very few people, use these things wisely. Rest are, and the fundamental reason is lack of control of senses. Even if one has intelligence, but there is so much, trying to keep up with the Jones, whereas His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj is trying to keep up with the Patels. There is so much competition. Oh, my neighbor has this car, so I should also get this car. Oh, my neighbor has this thing in the home, so I should also get this thing in my home. This is all lack of control of senses, ajitendriya, which leads to cheating propensity, which leads to more sense gratification, more basically caught up. So, rinam kritva ghritam pivet bhasmi bhut dehasya kim punar agamen bhavat. This body will anyways be burned to ashes. Who knows what will happen in next life? Is there next life? We don't know. That's the philosophy of Charvak, who was an atheist. So atheistic have this philosophy: just enjoy, live life king size, work hard, party harder, just do it. All these are modern day slogans. Enjoy. But this is not a devotional lifestyle. Devotee lifestyle means simple living, high thinking. Life is precious, use it wisely. Because if we don't know when is the last point. So whatever we have is a blessing of God. It is not to be used in it must be used very, very wisely. Whether it's wealth, whether it's our home, whether it's any of those so-called our possessions which belong to Krishna, that's a devotee lifestyle. That's the mentality difference in Griham-Medi and Grihastha. Any other comments or questions? Okay, let's read the next verse. Would someone like to read who didn't get a chance yesterday?
I can read, Prabhu.
Please.
Hare Krishna, the Lord Pranam to everyone. Text 16. Vidvana apittam tanuja kutumba pushna valokayana kalpate vai yasaiva parakya vibhinna bhavas tam prapadetu yatha vimudha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: O my friend, son of demons, in this material world, your Those who are apparently advanced in education have the propensity to consider this is mine and that is for others. Thus, they are always engaged in providing the necessities of life to their families in a limited conception of family life. Just like uneducated cats and dogs, they are unable to take to spiritual knowledge. Instead, they are bewildered and overcome by ignorance. Purport: in human society, there are attempts to educate the human being, but for animal society, there is no such a system. Nor are animals able to educate it. Therefore, animals and unintelligent man are called vimudha, or ignorant, bewildered, whereas an educated person is called vidwan. The real vidwan is one who tries to understand his own position within this material world. For example, when Sanatana Goswami submitted to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his first question was, Ke ami kene amaya jare tapa traya. In other words, he wanted to know his constitutional position, why he is suffering from the threefold miseries of material existence. This is the process of education. If one does not ask, who am I, what is the goal of my life, but instead follows the same animal propensities as cats and dogs, what is the use of his education? As discussed in the previous verse, a living being is entrapped by his fruitive activities exactly like a silkworm trapped in its own cocoon. Foolish persons are generally engaged by their fruitive actions, karma, because of strong desire to enjoy his material world. Such an attracted person becomes involved in society, community, and nation and waste their time, not having profited from having obtained human forms. Especially in this age, Kali Yuga, great leaders, politicians, philosophers, and scientists are all engaged in foolish activities, thinking this is mine and this is yours. The scientists invent nuclear weapons and collaborate with the big leaders to protect the interests of their own nations or society. In this verse, however, it is clearly stated that despite their so-called advanced knowledge, they actually have the same mentality as cats and dogs. As cats and dogs and other animals, not knowing their true interest in the life, become increasingly involved in ignorance. The so-called educated person who does not know his own self-interest or the true goal of life becomes increasingly involved in materialism. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaja advised everyone to follow the principle of Varnashrama Dharma. Specifically, at a certain point, one must give up family life and take to the renounced order of the life to cultivate spiritual knowledge and thus become liberated. This is further discussed in the following verses. So here, Prahlad Maharaja is continuously giving his knowledge to those boys, and has been very well explained here the vimudha, the difference between vimudha and vidwan. And Prabhupada is elaborating here that vidwan, basically the person who is inquired about himself, trying to understand his constitutional position. And there are many questions like why I am suffering from this material world, who I am, what is my goal of my life. Those are the real vidwan. Otherwise, if you are just fighting for your material sense gratification, wealth, enjoyment, this is mine and that is yours, and even we see in the families, husband and wife are staying, but then they're fighting in each other, saying that, oh, this is mine, this is yours. These are all the propensities like cats and dogs. And Prabhupada is saying, what is the use of that, having that kind of the education? People have so much education, but then eventually it boils down to this is mine and this is yours. So this is like a foolish person, is basically generally engaged like a silkworm who's trapped his own cocoon, because they wanted to enjoy their material world. And such people is wasting their time despite having the human form. And that's what the Prahlad Maharaja is advising, that one has to adapt the Varnashrama Dharma, give up the family life, detachment from this material world, and surrender to supreme personality of the Godhead. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Back to you, please.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So, in modern days, if someone has nice degrees, masters, MBBS, MD, and law degree, and this degree, and PhD, that is considered very vidwan. Oh, very, very intelligent. But not as for Srimad Bhagavatam. Because those degrees are just primarily for eating, sleeping, mating, defending. But the real PhD, which a devotee should aspire for, one senior Vaishnava said, is to become a pure-hearted devotee. That's PhD. That is very good. If we can get that degree, then we are really vidwan. To become pure-hearted devotee, or some others say pure Hare Krishna devotee, a pure servant of Krishna. That's something nice goal to achieve. And that will help us to come out of our ignorance. These so-called other degrees bind us more into the ignorance, the web of ignorance. But as Prabhupada is giving the example of Srila Sanatana Goswami asking those questions, why I'm suffering? Who am I? What is the goal of life? This is the Brahma Jigyasa. Asking those questions are the beginning steps of attaining that degree of becoming a pure-hearted devotee. So that is real accomplishment. That is the success parameter of life, not the external degrees. Of course, that doesn't mean if someone is in college and say, Prabhu said this is all nonsense, Bhagavatam says this is all nonsense. We do the needful, but the focus of the life should not be those. Those are like, as I always like this example, like putting the fuel in the car. Putting fuel in the car is necessary, but that is not the main reason we get the car. We don't get the car to put fuel in the car. We have to do it to get to the destination, but that's not the main goal to get the car. Any other comments or questions? Would someone like to read text 17, 18? Prabhu? Okay, someone was unmuted. You want to read, please?
I can read, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Text number 17-18. Yato na kaschit kvacha kujachit va dina swam atmanam alam samrata vimochitam kama drishyam vihara krido mrigo yan nigado visarga tato vidurat parihatya daityeshu sangam vishaya makutusu upeta narayanam adidevam samukta sangar isito Pravagra. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear friends, O sons of the demons, it is certain that no one breath of knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been able to liberate himself from the material bondage at any time or in any country. Rather, those breath of the knowledge of the Lord are bound by the material laws. They are factually addicted to the sense gratification, and their target is women. Indeed, they are actually playthings in the hands of attractive women. Victimized by such a conception of life, they become surrounded by children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and thus they are shackled by material bondage. Those who are very much addicted to this conception of life are called demons. Therefore, although you are the sons of the demons, keep aloof from such persons and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana, the origin of all demigods, because the ultimate goal of the devotees of Narayana is liberation from the bondage of material existence. Purport: Prahlad Maharaja has maintained the philosophical point of the view that one should give up the dark well of the family life and go to the forest and take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hitvatma patam graham andakupam varam gato yad dharim asriyate. In this verse also he stresses the same point. In the history of human society, no one at any time or any place has been liberated because of too much affection and attachment for his family. Even in those who are apparently very educated, the same family attachment is there. They cannot give up the association of their families, even in old age or invalidity. For they are attracted to the sense enjoyment, as we have several times discussed. Yan mitu hunadi grahamedi sukham hi tucham. So-called householders are simply attracted by sexual enjoyment. Thus they keep themselves shackled in family life, and furthermore, they want their children to be shackled in the same way. Playing the parts of playboys in hands of women, they glide down to the darkest region of the material existence. Adanta gobir visatam tamishram puna punas charvita characharanam. Because they are unable to control their senses, they continue a life of achieved, and therefore descend to the darkest material regions. One should give up the association of such demons and adhere to the association of devotees. Thus one will be able to be liberated from the material bondage. Hare Krishna, beautiful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, connection is
here Prahlad Maharaj is continuing.
Hare Krishna, Sundar Prabhu, your connection is breaking.
Morning, friends.
Sundar Prabhu, your connection is breaking. Sorry about that. So I believe everyone at least heard the translation and the purport. I'll just summarize on his behalf quickly, and of course others can share their comments. So Prahlad Maharaj continues his instruction, valuable instruction. These are two verses in the 17 and 18. In the first verse, he's again telling that how the power of opposite sex. There's a very nice lecture by Zulmis Radhanath Swami Maharaj which talks about the power of lust. Great kings who would conquer the three direction, and then they would be conquered by the opposite sex. Many examples are there in our Vedic history, in the Greek history, and in histories in all parts of the world. There are stories like that. Very powerful kings, they have been conquered by like a plaything in the hands of opposite sex, because that's very powerful energy. So therefore, that's again Griham-Medi life. Grihastha life is okay as per Bhagavad Gita 7:11. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjita dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Sex life which is not contrary to Krishna consciousness or dharma. Krishna says, I am that sex life. So it's not that one has to give up one's wife or family. One can be Krishna conscious in family life as well. But you have to be careful. Are we using it for our own sense enjoyment, or are we using it to serve Krishna? That is the whole difference. Atmendra prichivancha tare bole kam krishnera priti ichha dhare premanam. Lust is to use things and energies of Krishna for my own senses. But the same things, the same energies, when used for Krishna's service, krishnera priti ichha dhare premanam, that becomes love. So lust can be transformed to love. And lust doesn't just mean opposite sex. It means a lot of other things. In the next verse, Srila Prahlad Maharaj is mentioning that one should be very careful about one's association. One should not associate with non-devotees, as Prabhupada is mentioning in the last line. Give up the demonic association, that association which is contrary to Krishna consciousness. Asatsang tyag e vaishnavachar. We should take favorable association of those who help us to grow further in bhakti, who inspire us in chanting better, in reading better, in serving better, who are not finding faults in others, who are trying to sincerely grow in their Krishna consciousness. Even in ISKCON society, we have to be careful where we want to associate more, because ours is a big society, and big society means diversity, and diversity means there could be someone coming just for Janmashtami. That's fine. He's also part of the society. And there could be someone coming every day for Mangal Arati. He's also part of the society. So, but whose association we want to take more, that we will decide. So, two main points I like in this purport. Any other comments or questions anyone has? Okay, any Matajis want to read next verse, text 19?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam, I would like to read text 19. Nahi achyutam prinayato bahavo ayasho shuratmajaha atmadvat sarva bhutanam siddhadvat iha sarvataha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. My dear sons of demons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, is the original Super Soul, the father of all living entities. Consequently, there are no impediments to pleasing Him or worshipping Him under any conditions. Whether one be a child or an old man, the relationship between the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always a fact, and therefore there is no difficulty in pleasing the Lord. Purport. One may ask, one is certainly very attached to family life, but if one gives our family life to be attached to the service of the Lord, one must undergo the same endeavor and trouble. Therefore, what is the benefit of taking the trouble to engage in the service of the Lord? This is not a valid objection. The Lord asserts in Bhagavad Gita 14.4, Sarvo yunishu konteya murtayaha sambhavanti yaha tasham brahma mahat yonir aham bija pradaha pita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. The Supreme Lord Narayana is the seed-giving father of all living entities, because the living entities are parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. Mamaivamso jiva bhutaha. As there is no difficulty in establishing the intimate relationship between a father and a son, there is no difficulty in establishing the natural, intimate relationship between Narayana and the living entities. Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. If one performs even very slight devotional service, Narayana is always ready to save one from the greatest danger. The definite example is Ajamila. Ajamila separated himself from the Supreme Personality of Godhead by performing many sinful activities and was condemned by Yamraja to be very severely punished. But because at the time of death he chanted the name of Narayana, although he was calling not for the Supreme Lord Narayana but for his son named Narayana, he was saved from the hands of Yamraja. Therefore, pleasing Narayana does not require as much endeavor as pleasing one's family, community, and nation. We have seen important political leaders killed for a slight discrepancy in their behavior. Therefore, pleasing one's society, family, community, and nation is extremely difficult. Pleasing Narayana, however, is not at all difficult. It is very easy. One's duty is to revive one's relationship with Narayana. A slight endeavor in this direction will make the attempt successful, whereas one will never be successful in pleasing his so-called family, society, and nation, even if one endeavors to sacrifice his life. The simple endeavor involved in the devotional service of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, hearing and chanting the holy name of the Lord, can make one successful in pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore bestowed his blessings by saying, Param Vijjayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to Sri Krishna Sankirtana. If one wants to derive actual benefit from this human form, he must take to the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Very nice translation and purport. Here, the translation. Prahlad Maharaj is instructing those demons and saying who is Narayana, who is the super soul in everyone's heart. He should be worshipped, and that's a very real fact, very true and real fact. And here also Prabhupada in his purports is so nicely explaining that all the species of life, we know that there are 8.4 million species are there, and he is the father of all living beings, all those species, and he is very bhakta vatsala. So if someone does very little devotional service, the Lord is always there to save him. The Lord is saying that I am there, I will save you, you just come to me, and telling Arjuna that surrender unto me. So, and here it's giving the example that Ajamila, who was a devotee in his former life, and then but he distracted with some material attractions, but at the end of his life he called Narayana, and then the Yamraja cannot able to send his soldiers, but the Vishnudutta came to take Ajamila to the Vaikuntha Lok. So that's what here it's saying. So and also Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says that simply hearing and chanting the holy name is only the success, is the only way, only the very simple way to please the Lord Sri Krishna. And he only wants that devotional service from his devotees. Back to you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Again, all these verses are so important. Each and every verse is full of such deep message. Bhagavatam is teaching us like a friend, like a guru, and like a lover. So, Krishna, what does he ask for? Bhagavad Gita 9.36, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Give me a little water, little leaf, tulsi leaf, some fruit, some patram, flower, pushpam. With love and devotion, I'll be happy. Pleasing relatives, husband, wife, children. Oh my God, it's very, very difficult. It's not easy. One time there was a joke. Krishna can marry 16,000 wives and please them all. But in the material world, an ordinary person, if one can please one wife or one husband, that is great success. And I'm sure all would agree to that. It's very difficult, very, very difficult. Because in material surroundings, one does a lot that's minimized. But Krishna, he does opposite. Ishvara swabhavir bhaktir nalai aparadha. First of all, he doesn't consider aparadha. Secondly, what he does? Alpaseva bahumani atma prayanta prasada. Little service he magnifies so much. Wow. Ajamil, he chanted my name Narayana. Oh, he's calling for his son Narayana. No. He just heard his name. He called Narayana. That's all matters. Draupadi, he gave a portion of her sari. While Krishna's, while he killed Shishupal, he got a little finger cut. Of course, transcendental pastime. And then Krishna gave unlimited sari. Alpaseva bahumani, he magnifies, gives unlimited in return. Sudama gave little chipped rice, just a handful chipped rice. And Krishna gave him unlimited. Little service he considers a lot. What to speak of actually completing the service? Even trying to attempt the service, he gives himself completely. The famous example of Jatayu. Jatayu tried to help Mother Sita. He was not successful as far external situations are concerned. But Lord Ram considered, Jatayu, you gave your life for me. All that matters, he sincerely tried. Success lies in trying. And Krishna was so happy. Lord Ram was so pleased. He said, the death of my father didn't hurt me so much, was not so painful. The coming to forest was not as painful. The Mother Sita going to the forest or Ravana kidnapping him was not as painful as the death or you losing your body, Jatayu. It's much more painful for me. That's how Lord Ram was affected by the service. He gives up himself. Atma prayanta prasada. But in the material life, but just imagine if if someone tries to and say, oh, I tried to cook, but everything got burned. You just be happy with just air and water. Some great souls would say, okay, I'm happy, but most situations will say, what? They will not say, oh, at least you tried to cook. It got burned, okay, it happens sometimes. Very rare people may be happy, pure souls, but in most situations, that's not the case. So, but the point here is, as Prabhupada is mentioning, that pleasing Narayana does not require much effort, but pleasing nation, community, family. Families are fighting over war, family, property. In every family, practically, there's, problems about money. every family pretty much. My money, your money, this money, that money, killing each other, court cases, fighting like cats and dogs. Very, very difficult to please. Krishna is very, very pleased. Simple. Some water, some leaf. Very happy. So easy. Bhakti is so simple. And if you please Krishna, we'll be happy. And we'll never be able to please everyone in this world. But if we simply try to please Krishna, that's what really matters. We do our dutiful part. So that's what Prahlad Maharaj is teaching. That our real relationship is with Krishna. And no matter we are young, old, women, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, everyone can follow this. It's not that only Vedic Brahmanas can follow this, or only rich people can do this. Everyone can do this. Everyone can try to please Krishna because it's so simple. Everyone can chant. Everyone can offer some water, some leaf to Krishna. Who can say I can't offer leaf to Krishna? Who can say I can't do water for Krishna? No one can say. Who can say I can't chant? Even if someone does not have the tongue to chant, one can chant in the mind. It's so easy. No one can say I don't have the power to please Krishna. No one can say. Because it is so simple. Rich, poor, black, white, Indian, American, male, female, old, young, everyone can please Krishna. Because it is very, very easy. Any other comments or questions anyone has?
Hare Krishna, this is Bhadra. Dandavat everybody. You explained everything nicely. This verse is the continuation of the last verse 17 and 18. And it is mainly talking about the family life. And family life is very difficult to give up. Very difficult to give up. And it says in the translation of this text 17 and 18 about grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and everything. So even the person who knows the scripture, even for them it's difficult to give up the family life, knowing the scripture. So in that sloka, Lord is saying, Prahlad is saying, ultimately, you please surrender. You surrender to Narayana. That's what he's saying in that sloka. So in this sloka, then the question arises, well, how do I surrender to Narayana? So then he is saying in this sloka, which he is saying, how you can please? By just doing some service. Just worship him in any condition, and you explain everything, how to do it. So that's what is the continuation of how to. So he's saying that there is a relationship. It's not impersonal. There is a relationship between Lord and his devotees. And how is that relationship? You do some services. Srila Prabhupada and you mentioned, and Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. Just do some Swarapama Dharma Satrayam, and there is no loss in it. That's what he is trying to say, that there is a relationship between Lord and his devotee, and there is the service. And that way you will be able to, the family life also will be able to, family who are present family life, they will be also able to gradually give up that family life. That's what it is ultimately. To perform the devotional service, engage in devotional service, hearing, chanting, 9 devotional service, whatever one can take up, or even 9, now of 9, whatever. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Any other comments or questions anyone has? Anything before we stop for today? Okay, so we will continue tomorrow morning for the next verse. Thank you so much for joining. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.